This film is about the Roswell alien.
So we're sitting out front an Indian teepee, and this is what I have in my hand right here. This is commonly called I'm going to set this book down. We have Genesis 6 and Exodus 6, or Genesis 6 and Enoch 6, where in both passages, both sixes, you get the term Nephilim from.
I find it appropriate to start in this film with 1 John 4, 1 through 3. Notice my alien up there has a cross on top of it.
This is the entrance to Roswell, New Mexico. You drive through hundreds of miles, literally a flat, open desert, literally very flat to get here.
Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God.
Everything about aliens is always a deceptive thing. It's a deceiving little dude. But just like a street hustler, if it's giving you something, it wants something in return. That's what's reading here in these texts. It's got the alien spaceship on top of the sign. You can see the cow up there being sucked up by the spaceship, the flying saucer. And this is an actual replica of a little Tiamat or Namu statue or idol. It's a serpentine being is what it is that they were worshiping. This is going to take you all the way back. I have Lilith on this page to the serpent that's in the garden is what this is going to take you back to. But more than this, idols like this were found around what are called eye temples. Some kind of, well, I mean, it's wild stuff, but we're in the wild area,
yes,
right? So
yeah.
we're in the alien comes out when you do the ritual area.
Right.
So, well, tell me about the evil eye. So,
this is the spirit of the Antichrist. If it denies Jesus, or it tries to evade Jesus, or it doesn't like Jesus, or it gets agitated by the name of Jesus, then that spirit is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming, and even now is already in the world. Now, what's interesting about the UFO alien extraterrestrial phenomenon in this modern age, and by alien or extraterrestrial, I mean the claim that these entities, these supernatural entities that are coming, are from perhaps other planets, or they live far, far away in another galaxy. Well, a lot of this is going to tie into the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, who lived from 1890 to 1937.
tell me about, okay, so what's this one here?
Okay, this right here is a traditional pagan symbol. You have the triple moon. You have basically the phases of the moon.
Okay.
And then in the center you have the pentacle, which the pentacle represents the 5 elements. You have earth, air, fire, water, and spirit.
Okay.
Always spirit at the top, and you have that inside of the moon phases.
Now, H.P. Lovecraft is one of his books seen over here, The Tales of the Great Old Ones. He's credited with the concept of horror science fiction, aliens, UFOs, branded into the modern mind. Lovecraftian, that's what they're called, entities are said to have symbols through which people may interact with something inhuman. It is believed that Aleister Crowley was influenced by Lovecraft's writings, particularly in the naming of characters in his book of the law.
Communion with this infamous character, infamously call these the Greys. And these were almost a hazing of the lines between real and not real. And people, when they wake up on what they believe are operating tables, they've got these things looking over them. Something else pops in and takes over, is running the controls, running the ship, if you will. Well, this is sort of what Whitley Strieber is stating in these books, that you've got something that can pop right out from another realm.
Similarly, and over on this side over here, I have images of the Necronomicon, the famous Necronomicon. Many of your horror movies, horror writers, your death metal bands, etc. have credit their inspirations back to H.P. Lovecraft. Similarly, the Satanic rituals co-written by Anton LaVey and Michael Aquino include the ceremony of the 9 angles. This number 9 tends to pop up surrounding occult ceremonies and practices. In Hebrew, it would be the tet, 9 angles. It contains invocations of several of Lovecraft's fictional gods. So in other words, their actual satanic rituals that they were performing are based on these claimed fictional characters by H.P. Lovecraft.
So mainly these actually come from what some would consider Freemasonic rituals, occult rituals. They're just satanic rituals is what they straight up what they are, going back to Egypt and Babylon. And Yoda, little green character guy like this, or little Yoda character, little demon character, would appear in the pentagram or the magic circle. I mean, it's a Yoda in one of the shops.
Also, heavy metal and death metal bands commonly attribute their work or some portion of the inspiration of their work to H.P. Lovecraft. This is going to take us into a realm called cosmicism. Cosmicism, like the universe is cosmic or is said to be cosmic. Well, these ideas in men's minds, many of them came from the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, these pulp fiction horror science novels that he did at that time. Cosmicism is American author H.P. Lovecraft's name for the literary philosophy that he developed. Lovecraft was a writer of horror stories that involved occult phenomenon like astral projection and aliens breeding with man.
The mermaid has been a sideshow tradition since 1942. The legendary P.T. Barnum introduced the very first one to the world. Barnum displayed the Fiji mermaid in the American Museum in New York. It is 25 years since the last time it was seen in the change-up area. So they're actually claiming, or at least this place and these reports are claiming that things like this creature here were real. And the Lord said, "My spirit will not contend with man forever, for they are mortal, and the days will be 120 years. And the Nephilim were in the earth in those days." These are creations between the women and the and these angelic beings, these heavenly beings, these B'nai Ha Elohim, direct creations of God, were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards. That means after the flood, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes, legends of old, men of renown. When you're in Greece or Italy and they have images or statues of Zeus or of some of these other characters that are heroes of old, they don't display these as if these are mythological characters. They even put dates for ages on them. They're displaying and representing these as if these were actual people and actual beings that lived.
Now, the philosophy of cosmicism is explained as the idea that there is no divine presence, there is no God, H.P. Lovecraft was stating. He began to expound this idea that rests in the mind of science today. Your top scientists like Jack Parsons were basing much of their belief structure on Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and also the writings, the horror writings of H.P. Lovecraft, who saw the universe as godless. It was ever expanding, boundless, and mankind was little more than an insect in this universe, wherein there were ancient old ones. H.P. Lovecraft used various gods as characters in his stories, but these were not actual gods in his mind. These were just characters or creatures, often looking like insects or parasites.
So back here in this case, what I have is an ancient Garud idol. This represents an ancient god, the Garud. You can see it's got a demon or a devil-like, clownish devil-like face is what it looks like with serpentine teeth. I'd like to walk you over to these idols that you have in this area here.
Between 1945 and 1946, didn't your issues in Roswell occur in 1947? These magic ceremonies or rituals performed from January to March 1946 by rocket fuel scientist and occultist Jack Parsons and Scientology founder Ron L. Hubbard.
You quite quickly come from the world of aliens to the world of mask-wearing horror characters. Right here on this side you have ancient gargoyles.
Now, Iowa's, the solar phallic hermetic Lucifer, is his own holy guardian angel, and the devil, Satan or Hadad, the supreme soul, the sun, the Lord of our particular unit of the starry universe. This serpent, Satan, is not the enemy of man, but he who made the gods of our race, knowing both good and evil, the tree in the garden. He bade know thyself and taught initiation. He is the devil, the book of thought, and is the emblem of Baphomet in this modern age. That was written by Aleister Crowley about the Babylon working ceremonies, rituals which are recorded to have taken place between 1945 and 1946 on top secret military facilities, including, allegedly, Area 51.
I'd like to bring your attention over here to these images of Aleister Crowley, who enjoyed, of course, the evil eye he wore on top of, that's actually the Eye of Ra, or the Iron Ra that he's got on top of his hat right there. Aleister Crowley he's likely one of the most famous occultists in modern history. Now, sometimes in numbers and dates, I often find interesting things. It's not the devil that does these, it's the Lord that loves numbers and dates. Everything here, even the goat, the devil has taken, but this was certainly a goat one here. And Crowley is likely the most famous occultist in modern history, living from 1875 to 1947. That's the year your aliens crashed, is it not? So this is William Mac Brazel. So this is the rancher that first discovered the disc and debris on his property. But there were others, such as his neighbors over here, that would also find debris on their property. We'll get to that in a moment. Who's going to clean all this stuff up? That's what I want to know. I need someone there to clean it up. The response is, what stuff? What are you talking about? Don't know what it is. Maybe it's from one of them flying saucers. This is the rancher. You're out in the middle of nowhere in Roswell, particularly at that time.
I'm Trey Smith of God in a Nutshell. I had wanted to, with this film, to put together something that was enjoyable, easy to watch, but also intellectually satisfying at the same time. I hope we accomplish that in this film behind me. Again, it has a runtime of roughly about 2 hours in length. This film is dedicated to my father, who I took on a road trip before he passed away in 2024. We went to some of these sites, such as Los Alamos, which was one of his first jobs. I wanted to make this a film that was enjoyable to watch, did not have a heavy spirit to it, something relaxing and enjoyable to watch just as a documentary film, but also with an edge of intellectually satisfying within it as well. I hope that we accomplish that. The film again has a runtime of roughly 2 hours in length.
All right, so the evil eye, okay, the evil eye.
And the evil eye, it's a symbol to ward off, to ward off negative energy.
Bad stuff, okay.
Yeah, any kind of unwanted negativity.
All right, okay. Well, so it's a good symbol.
Yes.
Even though it says evil eye.
Right, yeah. You hear evil and you're like, oh God, this bad.
Gosh.
Just to be clear, I don't quite agree with the guy at the alien shop that the evil eye is a good thing.
What are you talking about? The stench, he's stating. This is the rancher talking, the stench. It's just awful. Joy, you respond, stench. From what? What are you talking about? They're dead. This is the rancher again. They're dead. Who's dead? What's dead? Brazel, little people. There are little people, now barely audible.
I was here the summer that Neil Armstrong, I was here the summer that Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. So everyone at the lab had gone home to watch that event on their TV set.
So this behind me, this was the ranch boys' home, which is what this was prior to it becoming the Manhattan Project. What you're looking at is a two-headed monkey that they've got soaked in formaldehyde. This is the symbol that they would have worn on their shoulder patches. Some of them were working at the Manhattan Project at that time. So it kind of has a mountain range or a symbol of the earth. It has a downward piece of lightning is what it kind of appears to be.
Now, the Manhattan Project ran from 1942, this is officially, from 1942 until August 15th of 1947. The Manhattan Project employed nearly 130,000 people at its peak. Think of the gravity of that. And this is for black ops projects, meaning that the money comes in and it goes into a hole. And this is one of the first times in history that you're using words like billion. In fact, $2 billion was spent on the Manhattan Project. And this is back in 42 to 1947.
Yeah, everyone, there was almost nobody in the lab except for the security. All of the research people were at home looking at the TV. So, so I was over there and I managed to get most of them networked together.
While the moon landing was happening.
Well, I don't know if it was exactly while, but
During the same time the broadcasts
well, it was
were.
the same day, yeah. So I had all of the computers connected together.
But also looking like kind of an eye, and then it's got this red circle, and then it's got a star in the very center. So this is the symbol that you would have worn for the Manhattan Project.
Nobody really complained about it. They just wanted to know how I did it.
So the aliens are not crashing very far from where your largest government black ops projects in the world, in the history of the world, are happening. Just a couple of inches, in fact, from where those are happening in the land.
This film is titled The Roswell Alien. It's dedicated to my father, who passed away in 2024. This film's quite a journey. I hope very much that you enjoy it. I'm Trey Smith of God in a Nutshell. God bless every last one of you and your families on the other side of the screen. The Roswell Alien is a relaxing and easy ride, along with a whole array of other films, for streaming over at godinanutshell.com.